Welcome everybody to today's reading. Today's reading will be what is it you can do next. So we have three groups for you to choose from today. We have group one with the Mookaite, Jasper. We have group two with the Moldavite. It's like really teeny tiny piece. It's like hard to get. I don't know, this lighting's not great for it. It's kind of similar color to the plant, but anyway. And we have group three with the Malachite. So you can take a moment to choose whichever pile you feel the most drawn to. Use the timestamps in the description box to jump ahead to whichever pile that you choose, and we'll get started with group one. Okay, welcome group one. If you chose the Mookaite Jasper, then this is your reading for today. For what can you do next? So I guess like the first thing that Spirit is asking you to do, or something that would be helpful for you to do, is to kind of take stock on the things that are really meaningful to you in your life, the things that bring you hope, the things that like fill your cup and give you joy, the things that if you had to like look back on a life well lived, like what would be the most meaningful to you, and then kind of like take stock on trying to set priorities. And I know it can be a bit of a balance, but I feel like that's kind of where you're at. You just need to maybe don't think too far ahead, but just kind of like contemplate it, think about it, weigh it all up, all of that. See, it's really like a feeling energy. It's not so much thinking. It's kind of more like, what means the most to me? Okay, these things. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna make it like life an adventure, and we're just gonna head in that direction, and we're just gonna get to work, and we're just gonna do a little bit of that like every day or every chance we get, and kind of build towards something. And so like it's kind of that simple. Like they don't really want you to think into it. They just want you to kind of like feel. Yeah, it's all about feelings, like imagining or like thinking about what it would feel like to envisioning something, what it would actually be like and what it means to you, and all your values and the good things, like what means the most anyway. And then you're like gonna just take a step in that direction and just do it out of like joy and adventure and learning, because it's a life well lived, and just put the work in, just whatever you can to work towards it, just do it. And it doesn't matter. No thinking. Okay, so on that note, like the Mookaite could be like a good crystal for you to work with at this time if it's something that you're interested in. It can be quite grounding. I actually really love Mookaite. It's probably one of my favorite types of Jasper out there, but I mean there's lots of good types of Jasper too, so it's a little bit of a closer look, maybe over the black. Yeah, anyway. Okay, cool. So that set aside, that's kind of like what to do next. Yeah. All right, so we also had a bunch of other cards come out, so we'll just stop and take a sec. I just kind of got like stop and smell the roses, which is just perfect because it kind of goes along with it, that exact message of what we got in the cards as well. And I love it when the channeling kind of matches up with the cards. It's always like it's a nice surprise when it's so straightforward, and I don't miss it because some things are kind of subtle and some things kind of come fast, and sometimes they're all over the place and they don't always make a heap of sense. So yay. Okay. So definitely people, people competing. I feel like the thing is that like when you kind of like think about these things and you're like taking a step in a direction that's like really meaningful to you, and you start showing up and putting the work in, and people are like, oh shit, pile one is serious about this, and they're actually they not only are they like being committed and putting in the work, and they're actually doing something about it, taking action, and like, you know, building, and they kind of like, I feel like the thing is about whatever this is, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I kind of get the feeling that like, because you do love it, or it's closer to your heart or something like that, it's kind of easier for you, or you already know a bit about it, or you're already a little bit experienced in it, or you just like bring such love for it, or devotion, or passion, I don't know, whatever it is, that it's like, it's not really work to you. So when you show up, you're like, half of the work is kind of taken out of it, and you just, you make it look easy. Like, I kind of get that's the feeling. So like, when you finally get started, some of you might already kind of be there, and it's kind of been like where you've been at, it's kind of that reevaluation stage. But I feel like it, you know, the name of the reading, like the title of the reading that we're doing is like what you can do next. So somewhere where you're headed. So it's kind of like a warning that like, when you do this and people see you serious, and they see you actually putting in like real grounded steps towards this, like, it's, you're not even taking action, I feel like you actually do well with it, or you really fine tune the craft, and you get good at it. So it's like, I don't know what I want to say. I feel like, you know, Eight of Pentacles is meant to be like a representation sometimes of like paid work. For some people, it could bring about like a skill or trade swap, or a craft swap of some kind, something like that. So even if it's not necessarily like the straightaway monetary values of like having a business or something, it could actually like still lead to a lot of abundance, just in different ways, supportive networks and things like that as well. But I don't know, I kind of get the feeling that you guys will get paid for whatever this is. So yeah, new venture, new adventure. For some of you, it's like, maybe you don't even go into business, but you just like start studying something, and you actually are putting in the time to like develop those real world foundational skills in whatever that is. So yeah, you know, skills can sometimes equal like abundance in some ways. So but even if it's I don't know, even for I get like a small group, you know, right? Like, we were thinking about the things that are meaningful and hopeful and joyous and everything like that. Some of you might just go, I really love gardening, and I'm just never had plants before, and I'm just going to go and get a veggie garden, and just going to show up every day and learn it and make it work. And you actually get like a bit of a yield back. And then it's like, I don't know, such a weird example coming through my mind, but like your neighbor, old Betty Sue, is sort of like, how like kind of frustrated at you that your garden's growing so well, and when she like looks over the fence, or like, you know, she comes and visits and sees it, and she's kind of like, at first she's taken back, like, oh my god, you've done so well, and then after that she's like, but why is her garden growing so well and mine isn't? And they're just like so frustrated, and they just wish that theirs could like you know, be as abundant as yours. And so it kind of gives me that energy. And then they do have to take a look at themselves, and they do have to kind of reassess what they have been doing, and where they've been putting their time, and what they've actually been working on and investing in, and you know, how they have been showing up, and whether they have actually been building something kind of like worthwhile or foundational, or whether they've just been kind of twiddling their thumbs a little bit. And I don't mean that they haven't like gone to work. They've probably done work, and that's probably the most frustrating part for them, okay? But like, you know, we're all learning, and it's all in good humor. We're not actually like, you know, I don't know, it just is what it is, okay? We can't really do much about it. But I think that you probably challenge this person or encourage them some way in their inner world. Like, it's not like you mean to do it or anything like that. Where when they're finally able to get past the whole like conflict, competition, whatever that sort of energy is, and they do like start to reevaluate things and kind of look at what they've been doing and where they're at, and you know, what's kind of been the return that they've been getting for it and everything, that they actually like do so much better for it. And it was like such a needed process that I think they end up being pretty grateful for, or it ends up serving them really well, even if they can't be grateful for it. Like, I kind of get that they would be grateful, but they might just not let you like really see, they might not really show it. And it might make them kind of feel vulnerable, and it might step them into the next era of like their learning healing journey. So it's kind of like, thank you, Pile One, for showing up on your own journey and like, you know, deciding what meant the most to you. You kind of role modeled to these other people that, you know, you can kind of do things that you like and you can kind of do well at it, something like that. Or even if all you do is like have an adventure during your life of something that you like to do, and it ends up just being like a good thing. And I don't know, maybe the abundance is that it like that veggie garden, like you just get heaps of veggies, I don't know. But then yeah, this person, they kind of like, you not only do you like inspire them, and you're like this, you're kind of showing them an alternate way of living. And at first, like, it might be like that threatening kind of aspect where it's like, well, you doing something different says that maybe what I'm doing isn't right, you know? So it's like the hit to the ego, or that like kind of defensiveness might pop up or crop up a little bit, however you look at it. And then they kind of, you know, I think they just get to a point where they've got nothing left in the tank, and they have no choice but to look at what they've been doing. And when they do find, you know, whatever it is that they need to change to move forward, they are pretty comfortable. Some of them, there is like a small group here where I'm sure that like just that comfort where they are is so comfortable that even though they know they need to reassess, they are so comfortable, and it does make them feel so vulnerable that they might just not ever kind of like implement any changes or anything. And like, that's okay if that's what they want to do and that's where they're at, and we can just respect that and leave that alone. But it is kind of letting you know that this, you know, if you're ever wondering why like this person might be a little bit salty, sometimes they might get a bit down on themselves. I don't know if anyone, I feel like that Five of Wands card shows up usually when people don't always mean to take it out on you. They might not even really be aware or have that intention to. Some people do. I'm sure they really know what's going on and they just can't help themselves. But there are some people that they like don't really understand it, and they can't really help themselves. And I don't know. I don't think it means that you should necessarily accept that type of behavior, but that's your choice. It's more just like letting you know that this is kind of how this scenario could play out. And I kind of get the feeling that it is a neighbor, or it is like someone that was closer in proximity, if not relationship to you. And so it could be a little bit disheartening, or it could be like kind of annoying. And it's like kind of gets to a point of like, it's not even a stalemate. It's just like, seems like never ending or something. I don't know. Maybe this person will take that competition to the grave with them. We'll find out, I guess. It does seem like it settles down, and that they do sort of simmer out with it. And it doesn't seem like it takes a long time for that to happen. But it's more just that point that I think at which, at some stage, for those of them that make it this whole way through the timeline of where they're at, not only do they realize like that it kind of is a vulnerability for them, like a bit of a soft spot for them, but it steps them into a new era where they actually have to start looking at that kind of inner healing. So, and whatever that journey looks like for them going forward. So it's, you know, it's sort of that message of sometimes like our own like healing process and everything. It's like the flow-on effect. It's like sometimes more powerful than just like our own healing, right? Okay, so what else have we got here? That's everything that I have for you today, group one. Hopefully this is like helpful to you all in some way of what you can do next. It's like a really nice and like uplifted, like a lighter energy for this reading. So I hope you all enjoyed it and it was of service to you. I'll see you all in another reading. Thanks. Welcome group two. If you chose the Moldavite, then this will be your reading for today on what it is that you can do next. So straight straight away it looks like this group might be in need of like a bit of a get together or a good time or something like that. Could just be being around good people or like doing good things, or some of you it's actually getting out and about, some of you it's getting outside, getting out with people, other people. Some of you it's like getting out with children. Some of you might be pregnant, and so it's like you haven't really gotten out much, and that would be like a good time, although there are others of you where that's like quite far out of so far from like the life that you live, and you are just like, it is like going out and having a good time. Some of you might drink or something, I'm not really sure, but like I guess, yeah, it's not like getting too far into like what might happen as opposed to like what you can do next. So it is like go out, have a good time, embrace your friendships, have fun, be spontaneous, live the good life. If you can get outside as opposed to being inside, that's great too. Being your best self or putting your best foot forward or something like that would be helpful as well. Some of you, I feel like dressing nicely would be good. And I don't even know if like, look, you don't have to, don't do anything you don't want to do. It's like just one of those things that like, I guess Spirit's trying to say that it might make you feel nice, or it might really help you embrace that moment. And if you don't want to, I feel like there would be like a way that you can like dress casually or pretty close to your comfortable attire that like fits your aesthetic still, where you're not super like dressing up out of the norm, but like you kind of make it work, and it's like you look good or you look attractive even if you're still casual or comfortable the way that you normally dress, and that would be like a-okay. So yeah, really good energy so far. And I do feel for some of you this is actually helping you overcome like some sort of issue that's like probably been the elephant in the room for a while, and it might be nice for you to kind of like do something other than focus on the elephant in the room, or to just be able to like be distracted by life in the good moments, because there aren't always so many sometimes, even though sometimes there are heaps. It's like we really want to embrace them when they come along, and for those of us that like haven't had them in a while, sometimes we're like we're going to try to encourage that, right? So that would be great. And some of us, it's like going to help free up our energy a little bit, because it's like we have been kind of gridlocked into this like weird icky energy where like we might not be really trustful of people around us at the moment, or just people in general. We might not even be so trustful in like a scenario like going out or something like that. So maybe it's like a call to come out of your comfort zone, but I would say never, like, you shouldn't not keep your wits about yourself. Like we never want to be so complacent that we just kind of get thrown by the wayside, or like you know, forgetting core fundamental lessons that we've learned in life or anything. We don't want to be complacent and lose ourselves or anything like that. We still want to be able to like look after ourselves, put ourselves first, and protect ourselves and everything like that. But if we can like find like a nice balance between kind of loosening up enough to let ourselves enjoy a moment without, you know, letting that other stuff like overshadow it too much, but doing it in like a safe, fun way, and that's like great for everybody. It's such a win-win situation, and I feel like this group needs it so much more than anybody else, and it's just like Spirit really encouraging you to embrace it if you can. And I feel like for some of you may kind of wonder like who should, I don't know if you feel like you don't have friends, or if you feel like there's just not really people around, or like the last time you spoke to people you weren't sure if you felt that close, or if the friendships had changed that much or too much or something like that. And I guess some part of this is kind of that thing of like having that moment where you can come back together, where it's like not in such a stressful time, and you can just embrace each other's company in good times, and just kind of like go like, life can kind of be terrible sometimes, but like go have a laugh about it, like the irony of it all or something. I don't know. I feel like I don't really like being encouraged or like pushed in directions like that. If you're still sensitive to something, obviously, you know, use your own discretion here. And where, yeah, I don't know, for some of you, like maybe it's not really about going out and doing this like spontaneous sort of thing that's meant to be so much fun, but maybe we like go out, and if you like have a couple of friends that, you know, usually feel pretty good around, then just go spend time with them, and you might find that you accidentally end up having fun anyway. So, but I don't know, I feel like it doesn't have to be like really a group of people. It could only be one other person, so there's two of you, or it could be two other friends. I feel like for a lot of you, it's like 2 or 3 people that you kind of mainly connect with. Even if you do go into a group setting, it's like the 2 or 3 that like kind of mean the most. And so, yeah, like you plus one other person being the 2, or you plus 2 other people being the 3. But yeah, anyway. Okay, that's pretty good. Also, it's like there's something else here about that whole getting dressed up thing. Even if you like don't want to get dressed up, but you like find a cute one little thing that you do different that like might be kind of subtle or minute, and it's just like something fun or different, and I don't know, just yeah, I don't know, but maybe all you do is like pick a flower and put it in your hair, and everything else, I don't know, for those of you that like that, or in your pocket, that's okay too. Doesn't matter what way you do it. I don't know, something different, something kind of light and fun. Anyway, it's also like a really funny like pairing that we have, like the Moldavite coming out at the same time as this message, because like you know, it can sort of speak to that like rapid development in like healing and everything, and it can be kind of brutal, and it can be kind of soothing at the same time. But I don't know, I don't think soothing is really the right word for Moldavite. Sort of like one of those things that it might like cradle us a little bit or help us along while life falls apart. I don't know. So that might resonate for some of you, that this is kind of what this outing will be like for you, right? Like it might just be that little bit of a buffer or a barrier to whatever's going on in life for you. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Okay, I do want to take another card, see if we get any extra messages or we can build on anything here for what you can do next. Okay, so we have call your energy back to you, and what if strangeness is actually your brilliance? The moon, duality, hidden gem, secret power. Okay, cool. So those of you feeling a little bit awkward, or I don't know, maybe you fit like an, I want to say eclectic or eccentric type of personality, or you feel awkward, or I don't know, what is it? Like, what do you just feel different? You feel, yeah, I don't know. Don't sweat it. It's like, let it be your beauty. Just embrace it. And I don't know, I think you guys have got that. I don't think I need to tell you about it. But calling your energy back to you, especially like if this is like a thing of, you know, maybe you did have a situation with a couple of close friends, maybe this resonates more for you than like going and having a night out, or it could be kind of like a follow-up thing, even if it means finding different friends. And that could have been that little bit of hesitation that I was kind of picking up on, right? Where it's like maybe you had a good group of friends and you would have thought it was them that you would go out and have this good time with, and then things didn't work out, and it kind of left you feeling closed off and a little bit like touchy to like want to even embrace anything like that. And so Spirit's wanting you to like call your energy back to you, and send anybody else's energy that isn't yours back to them, and that way hopefully you can kind of disconnect from anything sort of going on there. But we also have like 444, so how cool is that? It's like I was just getting something about stability, so I think that you guys will start to feel pretty good about yourselves, or just better in general. Like just you might have a bit more of an idea of like knowing what to expect and how to move forward. Okay, I'm going to take another card. I feel like we're on a bit of a good energy roll and I'm really liking it. I do think that this group, you feel a little bit faster than group 1 in terms of like the energy's moving pretty quickly. So yeah. We just want one card. Also, I really like the pairing of like aqua or turquoise and like a purple, but like it doesn't have to be in pastels, but I do really like it in pastels. I think the two of them go together really nicely. I don't know, maybe you do too. Maybe this is, I don't know. Some of you might not realize, you might not really be privy to your like brilliance or your beauty at this stage of your life. And when I'm referring to beauty, it doesn't really matter. There's no connotation here to it being like an external beauty focus. Like sometimes what makes a person beautiful is kind of like just their natural brilliance. Okay. And yeah, it's just, they're just sort of saying that like you don't realize some of you might just feel so out of place, and it's like you don't realize, like, the more out of place you feel, it's just like maybe you're like really sensitive to people's energy, and you're just kind of picking up on the fact that like people are kind of like a little bit dialed into you or paying attention to you, and then it's like even more awkward because like you don't realize what it is that's sort of captivating the energy or attention. But yeah, so just be mindful of what energy you're holding on to, calling your energy back to you, maybe if you do go out for an event of some kind. I almost want to say this weekend, so for those of you at the time that this video comes out, that this weekend coming up or just gone or something like that may be relevant, but also this reading is timeless, so it doesn't matter when it finds you, but I guess that's not for everybody, so we'll see. Okay. Also, some of you, like, the energy of the moon and the sun may be kind of like affecting you or something like that. So I don't know if it's to do with like what season that we're in. So I'm pretty sure I was listening to another person's reading today, and they were saying that right now we're at the time that I'm making this video, we're in the moon of Gemini, in like Western astrology, and I think in like Vedic astrology, or I don't know if it's sidereal, it would be like Taurus, the Taurus moon. So I don't know if that means anything to any of you, but that might be helpful. I mean, it would make sense to me if it was in terms of like either one of those signs, because with the Gemini, it could be like actually that embracing that getting out and that, you know, social aspect, or like maybe having fun or being a bit light and bubbly, or, you know, chatting or communing with people, but also like that Taurus aspect. Taurus can be kind of reserved when they, you know, and want to stick to their comfort zone and things that make them feel good as well. So whatever that is for you, you embrace those energies and just make the most of it. Okay, cool. So we've got mugwort for between dreams. I really like mugwort. I feel like it's like really, I don't know, is it clearing or protective? But that's what it feels like to me. So you might have your own purposes in which you use mugwort for. But we've also got the dream catchers here. And so for some of you, may actually be like, it does say between dreams. Some of you, I kind of wonder, I want to say it does everything. Like some of you, I wanted to say like maybe it would help kind of clear anything out in between dreams. And then I was sort of mentioning the protective thing. And then at the same time, I'm like, the more I look at it, I'm like, no, this is helping you like embrace your dreams, or like your waking life in between the dreams or something like that. Something, the dreams is very significant. Some of you may be kind of like, your higher self may be collecting information from the Akasha or something like that, that you might not even realize. For those of you that you can consciously kind of remember the dreams that you're having, hopefully you can remember enough of them. It would be like kind of cool if you could, but I don't think it matters. Like I said, it's more about your higher self as opposed to like your human 3D self. So we'll just see what happens there. We also have like defying gravity with Reishi. Yeah, that's cool. I'm getting something about the Fae. So for some of you, if you work with Fae, maybe call on Fae, or I don't know, maybe the Fae is like what would help you have fun or something. I'm not sure. I don't have like a great familiarity with them, but also I feel like, you know, Reishi is meant to be like pretty good in terms of like health and stuff. I don't know if Reishi's memory. No, they're saying not really. I don't know. It might be less about like a health food supplement type situation and more about the message of defying gravity, and the Fae. So some of you, it's actually like a call to like go into some sort of like woody area, like trees area. What am I saying? Trees area. Like a forest or an orchard, or like if you've just, I don't know, if you can walk down a pathway. This is sounding like I'm trying to lead you into the woods, and it's kind of like not my goal. My goal is like if you have a tree in your backyard that you can go put your hands on, go put your hands on it. But I think what it is that they're trying to kind of get at is that they want you to be really mesmerized by the tree, and they want you to like have like a deep connection with the tree when you kind of have some sort of interaction where it's like They want you to, some of you, I just feel like we all know what they're probably trying to say. They just want you to do certain things and like embrace that like plant life, yo. Anyway, but it's like they want you to get to know the tree or the trees in your surrounding area or something like that. They want you to, build that connection. So for some of you, all you might do is like put one or two hands on the tree and just kind of like sync up in terms of energy for like a couple minutes, like, you know, longer that you can, the better, without feeling too weird about it. But, and if you don't have to, like obviously you don't have to do any of this stuff, obviously. And I would be careful as to like what messages are taken from this, because we all have the responsibility for our own, choices. But like for some of you, maybe all you do is read a book leaning up against, like with your back leaning up against a tree, or maybe some of you just go sit and like meditate under a tree. Whatever it is that you do that you vibe with, that's safe for you and, you know, can kind of like help you immerse yourself in nature would be great. Okay, all right. But the more I look at it, I do just feel like the little reishi, like mushrooms kind of growing on the tree, it does like look like little stepping stones for like, you know, as if it was like something that fairies would kind of like daintily climb up. Yeah. Anyway, we also have Finding Grace. Something to do, I know, is it third eye or crown? Third eye. Yeah, okay. So I feel like, you know, working with the nature and the trees, it specifically seems to be about trees, will help you kind of connect deeper with your third eye, and that might look like some sort of like finding grace. But it also kind of goes hand in hand with the dreams as well, and so that would be nice. And maybe for some of you, you don't really connect with the trees in your waking life, but you do in your dreams. And so it's like part of it is just like that. I did mention getting in touch with the Akasha before. There's like that remembrance and that being yourself. And sometimes I was just getting something about being your eternal self. So sometimes the life that we've built, by the time that we can kind of come into connection with our authenticity or spiritual selves, seems kind of far removed, or like our just societal norms or something like that. The modern day living can really seem so far removed from who we are as ourselves, on like a esoteric soul level of who and how we show up in different lives, kind of as a overall. But yeah, they're asking you to be yourself regardless. For some of you, I do feel like, you know, rosemary could be a helpful one to keep on you at this time, just like a little sprig of rosemary kind of popped in your pocket for a day or two, or if you have a day or two where, you know, rosemary can be like a pretty strong smelling plant. So for those of you that are a little bit adverse to it but don't mind eating it, maybe you could have some sort of meal where you'll like cook with rosemary or something, or you just have a rosemary plant in the yard. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you go with a flower, a daisy, to be precise. I wouldn't say eat the daisy. I would just say maybe you like daisies instead of rosemary. Anyway, okay, so they're telling me that that's everything that I have for you today, group 2. Hopefully this is like, it's a much nicer energy to be on the other side of for a change compared to a lot of the readings that we have been doing. So hopefully this is like, you know, you're able to embrace it and enjoy it, and take care of yourselves. And yeah, hopefully this is a good one. Okay, welcome group 3. If you chose the Malachite, then this will be your reading for today, on what you can do next. So Malachite's a funny one. It can kind of, you know, green can be like heart chakra and stuff, but I think Malachite, I don't know if this is right or not, but I'm kind of getting it to do something to be like linked with like aliens and whatnot, which is a bit weird because I kind of thought that well, maybe not aliens, but like outer space or like galactic types energies or something. I don't know if that's right. It could totally not be right, but that's what I'm kind of channeling or bringing in right now. And it's weird because group 2 is Moldavite, and so that is something that's supposed to have just kind of like landed here, right? So I would have thought group 2 would have got a message like that, but they did not. So with Malachite, so some of you could be like resonating with Starseed family at this time. Arcturians are seeming to come through a little bit. Some of you may want to go and watch the movie Avatar, and by Avatar I don't mean what is it, because there's like 2 different avatars, so I don't mean the last Avatar or the last Airbender. I mean like Avatar is in like the blue people living on another world, and they connect in with like their tree of wisdom, like Awa. Okay, and now I feel like I'm being called to kind of tell you that like maybe the world really is just like Avatar on an energetic level, and it's just that the human eye can't see what that actually looks like. And so you might just be, for those of you that connect with like your clairsentience or are energetically sensitive already, that may not be any surprise to you. You may have already kind of felt that way. But for those of you that do not, that could be seemingly kind of just next level for you. And it may be something that captures your interest or curiosity. I do not know. That will be something that you can kind of take a beat and work out whether you want to entertain that or not. Okay, with all that being said, I'm also getting something here about Australia. Obviously, I am, maybe not so obvious to some people, but I am an Australian YouTuber, and it seems to be coming through. So I'm also kind of getting something here about like an Australian tattoo. Usually like Southern Cross is kind of what the Aussies get. Okay, I don't know if that's necessarily something that you could do next, but they're like throwing out a few random things here. Hopefully they're connecting in for, you know, different people here, different viewers here that have shown up to give you a little bit of confirmation that you're like on your right path, or that this reading is for you, or it's some type of like energetic check-in. I'm talking pretty fast and it feels like it's just flowing. And some of you could be kind of on that path to like finding your North Node or following your North Star, your true North. The true North, it's like, what is your divine pathway that's like heart-led to you, that you would sort of stand up in the face of adversity for, even if it means being, you know, sometimes we could frame it as being set apart from everybody, what kind of sets us apart, but it can also be the thing that makes us stand alone. And they're kind of asking you to trust that there is a beauty in that, and to, if you're going to embark on such a thing like that, I feel like they really want you to fill your cup as best you can, and they want you to be kind of emotionally evolved as much as possible, and to have done whatever kind of inner work that you can to kind of be up to par before you even want to start out. Just because it could be hard to maintain a balance between the two, like whatever it is that like you feel that true north is for you, that you want to follow, and then making sure that you're at capacity to be able to kind of really embrace it. And maybe it is going to be like a bit of a challenging time, or you are going to go against the grain, and it's really going to like show up in a way where people challenge you because of that. And if you do end up being on the receiving end of being the person that kind of is standing alone because of this, then you need to have a full cup to be able to kind of wear that, if that makes sense. Okay, so for some of you could be contemplating this. I don't know if this is something that you would already know about or not. This group has the potential to kind of be a bit intuitive, or to have already been thinking, very forward thinking energy in this group. Like you're very progressive, and it wouldn't surprise me if you've already thought of this plus like 40 other things. You might have a fast paced energy, and yeah. Okay, let's take a moment to let that kind of settle down a bit. It does look like it is like a new beginning for you, and it may be something different that you haven't done before, and that you will start to kind of ultimately build in that direction. But at this point in time, it kind of seems like more of like a dream or unknown opportunity or something like that, where it could have the potential to like kind of yield real world I don't know, like effects or success, or I don't know if success is the right word, but like yeah, some sort of tangible result is what I want to say. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, there's all of that like fast moving energy, I kind of want to take a moment and slow it down. And I do want to say for some of you that grounding with like a smoky quartz or a Mookaite Jasper would be helpful. And it might just help you. It's just attuning closer to like an earth frequency. So for some of you, yeah, I don't even know, you don't really feel like you have to ground. It's just that there's a lot of energy. So it's like you might be grounding in a different way to what people are used to. It's not like you're holding on to all of this energy. It's just that calming. It's that slowing down, or like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, some of you, it's like because you were so kind of like emotionally intelligent or evolved, or you had like a bit more space or capacity for something greater in your life, you were kind of like, well, you know, I've been doing this for a little while, whatever your life is like balancing the different aspects. And, you know, you might have times where it is a little bit up and down and rocky, and, you know, it might get a little bit tricky, but you don't really drop the ball. And so I feel like for some of you, that's where you actually begin to step into that pathway of like wanting to embrace that sort of true North Star. Yeah. And I think that you'll find that when you do this, there's like a benevolent quality to you. I don't know if you will have seen it yet or not. And it's like you'll really see yourself nurture the things that are around you, kind of like a flow-on effect. Yeah. And that in itself will bring about new beginnings of some sort. All right, I feel like we want to take a card from another deck for this, for you guys. Some in this group, you could worry how you present. But I don't really see that. I feel like a lot of free flowing. I don't know. There we go. Okay, attention, resistant, and surrendered. I think that it's more about like what you put your mind to, and what you kind of feed grows. And yeah, it's like, what is it? What's that saying? It's like where attention goes, energy flows. Yeah. But I think this group is pretty good for the most part, directing their attention in healthy ways. So there is the potential for some of you to kind of slip into like being like overly emotional, but to be honest, it's not really a feeling that I get. That would be something that like you would know yourself, whether that resonates for you or not. Maybe you might get tricked up a little bit by your emotions at times, but honestly, I don't see it holding you back. I feel like this group is quite adept at processing and being very fluid and just embracing it and just letting it come, letting it go, and then just having capacity. And yeah, okay. Another card. As I just kind of like picked up the deck off the chair, I just only had one card come out, and we had the Mars, and it's really just that like taking action. Some of you, it might involve like a little bit of strategy, but yeah, it's like taking physical steps in the world. So like paying attention, putting the steps into place. Yeah, we want another card. I just had the same thing happen. Okay. This time I had the Goddess card jump out. So the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Exploitation of the female nature and form. So I just think that like, I almost wanted to say it before, and I don't know if I actually said the words, but when I was talking about finding yourselves in this kind of like benevolent energy where you're kind of nurturing the things around you, that you actually find yourself in a bit more of like a feminine nature than what you would have expected or previously expressed. And that might be something new to you. So that is, and it's, yeah, through wisdom and connecting with nature. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like what will probably happen is that you'll get like a really nice balance between like your feminine and your masculine energy, and you won't even realize. I feel like this group, you're just like, you're kind of already quite well integrated and kind of intertwined, and you're on a path, and I think you're just going to do well. All right, what else do we have? I think that's everything that I actually have for you today, Group 3. I don't have anything else. Nothing with the Malachite, no. So what you can do next, yeah, fill your cup. Make sure that you've got room for other stuff there, so that you can sort of balance things out as you sort of move forward on whatever that venture is. Following, like, I don't know, it's like a life purpose mission. If I didn't say that before, it wasn't clear when I was talking about it. Like, whatever your life purpose is, whatever gives you hope, whatever, it's like a legacy. Like, what do you want to leave behind? It's like that change, the way in which we like affect the change of the world, not just, you know, one person. Yeah, it'll bring about a new beginning. I think this would be an incredible path to those of you that are on it and are able to enact it. So kudos, good luck with it all. We probably need more people like you, so if you have the ability to do it, then yeah. Okay, thanks, Group 3. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you all in another reading.